Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that your salary has doubled. Sounds amazing, right? What if I told you could still end up feeling poor? That sounds ridiculous. Yet it's happening to millions of people right now. And the reason is hidden behind this first economic concept: inflation, the silent pickpocket. Inflation is the reason your grandparents talk about buying snacks at 1 rupee. It's the reason your salary needs to increase. It is the same reason why keeping cash under your mattress is a terrible idea. Inflation quietly steals your money's buying power every year. You don't notice it day by day, but over decades, it's a master thief wearing invisible shoes. But if inflation is making everyone poor, why doesn't the government just print more money? That's a good question, and that's where concept number 2 comes in. Why printing more money does not make everyone rich. Imagine there are 10 pizzas in a town. Everyone has 100, and now suddenly everyone gets 1000. Did the town get more pizzas? No. Same number of pizzas, more money chasing them. So naturally, price rises. Printing money creates more currency. It doesn't automatically create more goods and services. And that is exactly why countries cannot print their way to prosperity. But if money is not wealth, then what actually creates wealth? Productivity. This is the one concept that nobody talks about. Imagine two farmers. One grows 10 potatoes per day, the other grows 100. Who gets more wealthier? Usually the second. Why, you ask? Because wealth comes from producing value. Countries become richer when they get better at producing efficiently. And speaking of value, let's talk about why diamonds cost more than water. The diamond water puzzle. You need water to survive. You don't need diamonds. So why diamonds are more expensive? Because value is not only based on usefulness, it is also based on scarcity. Water is incredibly useful, but it is also abundant. Diamonds, on the other hand, are less useful but relatively scarce, which brings us to the rule that controls every price on earth: demand and supply. You want to understand why houses become more expensive, why concert tickets sell out, why stock prices move. Learn demand and supply. When many people want something and there's not enough of it, price rises. When nobody wants something, price falls. It's the economic equivalent of gravity. You can't see it, but it's always working. Now let's talk about a mistake that everyone makes daily: opportunity cost. Suppose you buy a phone for 10,000. The cost is not just 10,000. The cost is everything else that 10,000 could have become. An investment, a course, a weekend trip. Every decision closes other doors. Economists call this opportunity cost, and understanding this can instantly improve your spending decision. But even smart decisions face a problem. Humans aren't rational. Why humans make terrible money decisions? Economics used to assume that humans are logical, and then they met actual humans. We buy things we don't need. We panic when market falls. We follow crowd. We spend more when we are sad. Economics meets psychology here. And this is why companies spend billions understanding your behavior. Which leads to a slightly uncomfortable question: who actually controls the economy? Interest rates, the economics volume knob. When central banks want people to spend less, they increase the interest rates. Loans become expensive, the spendings slow down. When they want spendings to increase, they lower the rates. Think of interest rates like the volume knob of economy. Too loud, turn it down. Too quiet, turn it up. But even that cannot stop every economy that experiences this. A recession sounds scary, and sometimes it is. Businesses slow down, consumers spend less, jobs become harder to find. But here's something that most people don't know. Recessions are normal. Economies move in cycles: boom, slow down, recovery, growth. The key is not avoiding every downturn. The key is being prepared for them. And this brings me to the final concept, and honestly the most important one: compounding, the closest thing to magic. Imagine you invest 100 and it becomes 110, then 121, and then 133, and then 146. The growth starts slow and then it accelerates. Compounding is why small actions repeated for years create a massive results. It's how fortunes are built. It's how habits change lives. And this is why starting early often beats being brilliant. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Economics is not happening in government offices. It's happening every time you buy groceries. It's happening every time you save and every time you invest. And it's also happening every time you choose one thing over another. People who understand this don't just understand the money better, they also understand the world better. So tell me, which concept changed the way you think? If you made it this far, you now understand economics than most people. The truth is, economics is not just about government, banks, or stock market. If you found this video valuable, hit the like button so that more people can discover it. Share this with your friend who says, I don't understand finance. And follow me for more simple explanations. This includes money, investing, and building wealth. I do this because financial literacy should not be complicated. We are just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.